Good evening, my dear friends. How you doing? It's a Wednesday, 11th of February. I'm here today presenting a little video for you. My last video seems to have stirred up a little debate as to, oh my God, Russians. Russians, they do not have the world's fourth largest economy. Ha ha ha. They do not have the largest economy in Europe. Ha 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 ha. Okay, enough of the cope. Perhaps I need to educate some people because not everybody has the same amount of knowledge. My background is in various projects in quality assurance, and I have worked for banks, investment banks in the past, private banks. So I can provide you more context, of course. So, as you can see from my screen, it's just a Google search AI mode. I basically said, show me the world's largest economies by purchasing power. And here you see a little list of uh, topics. You see China, United States, India, Russia, Japan, Germany, Indonesia, Brazil, France, United Kingdom. As you can see, there has been European countries which had some kind of power are already at the bottom. So France and United Kingdom, and Germany is still somewhere just between Japan and Indonesia. And so a lot of people, I can understand why a lot of people in the West, in Europe, in America, struggle with the concept of purchasing power because, especially if you haven't traveled to a place like India or Brazil or Indonesia, it's very difficult to understand that concept of purchasing power. And that's the problem, you see. It's often very difficult to understand why the purchasing power matters. So I'm going to do a little exercise for you. I have here in front of you as an example. This is called bigbasket.com. It is a shop I know of India because I traveled there. I was born there. I live in Belgium, so I travel often to India. And this is, for example, an online grocer in India. And let me tell you, for example, so if you were to look at the exchange rate, right? Rupee exchange rate. So basically, it's $90. If you were to say uh, €1, let's go to a euro, right? Where's the euro? There it is. So €1 is actually 107, okay, 107 rupees. And so if you look here, there's a lot of products. Why purchasing power matters is important because €1, as you can see, is 107 rupees. So purchasing power matters to see how far that euro goes in India. So I'm here on the page and you can see a lot of different topics. So basically, you're getting an entire cauliflower for 30 cents, less than 30 cents, it's 29 rupees. Capsicum, 1 kilo of capsicum, also known as paprikas, are 70 cents or less than 70 cents because it's actually 107 rupees, as you can see. Bananas, 45 cents. Um, of course, a bit more processed items, things like baby wipes, are a bit more expensive, 80 cents, 79. Yeah, it's about 80 European cents. Okay. If you want to do more of an exercise, you can even go further into fruits. Of course, strawberries, 200 grams, it's a bit more expensive. It's like a euro, close to a euro, 80 cents, 90 cents. Mushrooms. Look, button mushrooms, a pack of 200 grams, about 40 cents. Broccoli, one piece, 17 cents. Okay. So purchasing power matters, folks. For those who do not understand this concept, if you haven't practically experienced it, I would suggest to go travel to India, Indonesia, or any one of these bigger countries like China, and you will really see how far your euro or your dollar or your pound, sterling pound, goes. 93 cents imported. This is an imported avocado for 90 cents. An avocado in Belgium is probably also imported and never cost 90 cents. Okay. One avocado, just so you know. I've never, an avocado ready to eat is a minimum €1 40 mostly, or even more. But again, this is an imported avocado in in India. So just as an exercise, you can continue to see this. You can do this exercise for yourself. It's called Big Basket. This is not the cheapest store in India. I can assure you there's something called Reliance Fresh, and there's a lot of street vendors that just roam around with fresh fruit and vegetables in little streets. The prices on the street can even be a bit lower. Prices in other stores can even be a bit lower. So this is what I'm saying. A lettuce is 24 cents, just so you know. It's less than 20 cents European if you're talking about lettuce. Cherries are imported, therefore there's a lot more expensive. They're close to €1. But cherries are expensive everywhere. A kilo of cherries in Belgium is about €7 minimum. It can go up to 9 to 10 euros. So just, so these are expensive and they came from far away. So yeah, therefore things cost a bit more. It's practical. It speaks for itself, right? So if you were to go to fresh vegetables and all these other topics, you will see, a kilo, 2 kilos of onion. It's less than 50 cents because it's just about 45 cents. A kilo of tomatoes is 30 European cents. So purchasing power matters. Okay. Which is why you may be surprised to find out that the world's largest economies are actually the world's largest economy with a 41 trillion equivalent dollar economy is China. The next is the United States, and the third is India with a $17.71 trillion economy, and Russia, which is a 7.14 trillion economy. And Germany is a whole trillion lower, just so you know. And Indonesia is a whole trillion lower than them. And then Brazil, and then as you can see, France is a good 3 trillion lower. And purchasing power has always mattered. If you did not understand this topic, practically, as I said, go visit China, India, Indonesia to understand what it really means to have €1, exchange it for an Indian rupee, and how far that rupee goes in India. Okay, that's what matters. Not about how far that euro goes in another country, right? They pay in Indian rupees. So you can go on. Did the whole thing exist? And if you're wondering, what can I find? This is just food. If you want to go to pharmacy, things can get very interesting, and you will see for yourself. Um, Maybe there's something wrong with this. Pharmacy and wellness. Maybe this was the right category. Let's see. Oops, something went wrong. Okay, tea. Yeah, tea costs a bit more. It's a kilo of tea for, yeah, about €3. These things cost a bit more because these are processed. They come from far away. Even if a lot of them come from India, these are a bit more expensive. And then you have ghee and you have butter and all these different topics. Pure ghee, 1 kilo, it's about, yeah, €5. But again, this is not usually the cheapest price. You can find it for lower, or most people just make it at home, just buy the milk and make it at home. So if you don't know what ghee is, that is clarified butter, just so you know. There are other things, and you can do this exercise and see for yourself. By the way, they deliver in 10 minutes, just so you know. Often they can deliver in about 5 minutes. There's another app called Blinkits. I don't know if it still works, but yeah, they basically deliver products very quickly. It's amazing. Look at a kilo of potato, 20 cents. Okay, you're not seeing those prices in Europe. You're not so, which is why this is to reiterate the fact that there is a thing called purchasing power, and there is a thing called the world's largest economies. And I'm sorry to tell you again, and maybe it burns you, maybe it gives you sleepless nights, but it is okay. It is okay. You'll be fine. These are just simple facts. If you're in Europe, in the Netherlands or Belgium, you don't have to feel incensed or sad that your economy is not as big as Russia's. It's okay. You have a beautiful country. The Dutch have wonderful roads. They drive very slow, which is kind of gay, but why? They reduced it to 100. Okay. Jokes aside, that's the reality. Okay. How much do we, and we're saying, okay, some people said, what aboutism? He's just talking about Russia, man, and he's measuring, it's whataboutism. But it's not about whataboutism if you're looking at the big picture. Did you know that in 2023 and 2025, you still have fertilizer in nearly half? Russia remained the second largest supplier of fertilizers to the European Union. Did you know that? What do you think happens if you stop buying from them? Nothing happens to you, my friend. You will get supply of fertilizers from somewhere else, maybe Morocco, like they say. But no, you know what will happen? The Indians will buy it. The Americans will buy it. The Chinese will buy it. These are things like Russia is integral to food security. If you did not know that, the United States also imported, Russian US fertilizer imports. That's not stopping. They will, no, which is why they are keen on having bigger deals with Russia. They are coming to the realization that it's very difficult to tell India, please stop buying Russian oil. It's very difficult. You cannot tell 1.5 billion people, hello, you don't need to worry about your inflation. Okay, it doesn't matter. We, as long as we in Belgium and Europe can live all peacefully, we are those mean Russians. But you can wallow in your own gobar, in your own caca. No, 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 no. Okay, that's not how it works. 1.5 billion people, 1.4, 1.5 billion people. We are not doing that anymore. That game is over. Okay, we grown up now. We have Western education. So the Indians will continue. Okay, they know nobody is stopping. Mr. Trump can say, "Oh, India is going to stop buying the Russian oil," but no, it's not going to work that way, homeboy. You're gonna say, "Okay, maybe we will, maybe we won't." Okay, we will buy from you, definite, but we will stop buying from somebody else. But Russia, we like the Russians, because they give us steep discounts. How do we care? If you're looking for an Indian will always look for a good price, which is why we're growing that fast, which is why we're the world's third largest economy. Yes, I know it hurts you. It's okay. Don't, if you take it personally, if you take it with ego, it is going to feel bad. Okay. It is going to really feel bad. Okay. But if you humble yourself and if you see yourself, Poland, small country, Spain, small country, completely different. And we are saying that we are all the same. We are not. We are not. Did you know I discovered today Sweden has no inheritance taxes? I'm a Belgian citizen. I'm like, what? Huh? Really? Sweden? Smart. Very nice. Congratulations for doing well, Sweden. I was cutting y'all some slack the other day, but well done. Hungary doesn't have it too. But in Belgium, if you were living in Wallonia, you your sister, well, your brothers or sisters would have to pay up to 50% tax. Yes, you are not all the same within the European Union. Stop looking at yourself as this collective bullshit. No, I'm sorry. Okay, half of us don't even know the economic structures of each other countries. Okay, many of us Europeans, including myself, I cannot tell you straight out of the top of my head how many EU countries are in the group and which are the countries. I can name you the majority of them, maybe, but I will slip up on a lot of them. I don't know. Is Malta a country? What is it? Yes, Malta is part of. So there you go. There are gaps like that. Can every EU citizen name every EU country that's in the EU or in NATO? Are we even aware of the economic strengths of Italy and Spain and all the issues that? What my whole point is to educate yourself, to spend some time to find out who's your neighbor, whether if you're living in Germany, who's your neighbor, what are they doing, what are their capabilities, what are their weaknesses. Try to find out, and then you will see that we have much to gain just by being normal. Okay, being normal and stop being so uptight about everything and stop comparing your little, as a bubble of people. We are not a bubble of the same people, folks. Okay, If you're in Russia, did you know Russia has no inheritance taxes? Isn't that morally a better economy then than, I don't know, the UK and Belgium? Hmm? After a whole lifetime of paying almost up to 45% of income taxes, 21% in VAT, right? Taxes on your savings, by the way, your savings are taxed. You're paying about 30% tax on any capital gains. Sure, there are some workarounds around it. You can buy some ETFs that are more accumulating instead of distributing and things like this. But there are some loopholes. Sure. But did you know that there are these differences? And we are not all the same. So why are we pretending that we need to compare ourselves as a whole European Union to Russians? Stop it. It's not necessary. Russians, they have challenges, and I'm pointing out to you exactly the challenges. They may have liquidity issues, they may have inflation issues. They have inflation issues. They are have money. They are having money issues, but so are you. So are you. You are totally indebted. In Belgium, over 100%, 120% next year. In France, I said this in my previous video. So this is happening everywhere. In the meantime, the United States is dominating you by owning about 60% of the gas that comes into Europe, forcing you into that 600 to 750 billion in energy purchases. They're doing the same in India. So of course India had to make a trade deal, free trade deals. That of course European Union had to work with India to make a free trade deal. But you cannot tell India what to do and what not to do. Those days are gone. It's over. You have no mathematical parity anymore. Understand that. You just don't have the numbers. You have 400 million people at tops in European Union, yeah, but all small, different countries, different languages, different economies, many of them still using different currencies. Okay, that's what you are, a group of just countries. So stop looking at yourself like, oh my God, let's hold hands together. Yeah, wonderful. We are the third largest economy in the world. Yeah, wonderful. It is not going to give you anything. Nobody is going to give you more money if you're just Poland or Germany or Hungary because you're part of EU or something. No, the IMF is not going to loan you out more money. No, they're going to look at your country individually. When the IMF or the World Bank clears the loan for India, they're not going to look, oh, look at India. They're, they're still very smelly. It's very dirty and smelly out there. But somehow they're the second, third largest economy in the world. They're not looking at that. They're not smelling. No, no. They are looking at certain economic factors. And purchasing power plays an important role. So these are some realities. Don't get incensed when I give you certain comments. Don't be like, oh my God, he doesn't know anything. Okay, I have my lived experience. I've been a business owner in Belgium. I've been a business owner for 8 years. I've been a consultant for over 15. And I did a lot of work before that as well. So I've had a 20-year career in Europe. I've been educated here, bachelor's in business, did my master's in business from a school called Solvay Business School. And just so you know, my macroeconomics professor, who taught us macroeconomics in masters, was a guy named Andy K. Rose. He was from California State, Berkeley. He visited us for 5 days, and it was a 9 to 5 macroeconomics challenge. And just so you know, it was pure macroeconomics, a lot of theory. And I started this education when it was 2008, when a bank called Fortis, if you know anything about banking, went to €1 on the stock exchange. I took these courses during the economic crisis of 2008, and I studied till 2010. I mastered in bachelor's, did my master's in management, specialized in strategy, finance, and marketing, and did 2 years of that. Lived through that sad economy in 2008 when there weren't many jobs. And then finally, came back, worked for different places, worked in accounting. So it's all lived experience, and I don't have anything to lie to you. I don't have to make you feel like wonderful. I just have to tell you what I know, what I see, what I can Google quite easily. And I don't want you to think that, oh, he's just Googling. Oh my God, anybody can do that. Why do I need to watch this fellow? No, no, no. You watch me because I am Googling. Because sometimes we forget to, we are lazy. Some of them can't even Google. Some of them are commenting about PPP. Oh my God, Russia is the fourth largest. Ha 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 ha. But a simple Google search will give you some context. So maybe just learn Googling. That is a very good idea. They have an AI mode for the lazy ones out there. So why am I switching accents? Sometime I have to do this, or else where will you like me? Huh? And you need to like me, right? Apparently. No, no, no. Don't like me. Don't have to like me. It's okay. I'm doing this for me. I do this for my entertainment. Okay. I do this for your education, my education, and our entertainment. Say, I didn't even know that Sweden had no inheritance taxes. I was taking the piss out of them yesterday. So chill. Okay. So thank you for your attention to this matter. Understand purchasing power. If you don't, you can learn, take a course, you can travel, find out for yourself. Um, Thank you for your attention.